remember that day like it was etched into my soul, sharp and unforgiving. The school hallway was alive with the chatter of students, but in that moment, all I could hear was my heartbeat pounding against my ribs. My best friend Sarah stood face to face with me, her eyes burning with anger. Words spilled from her, accusations sharp as knives. She called me a cheat, a liar, a disgrace. I tried to defend myself, but her voice rose higher, drowning out my protests. And then, in a flash of rage, she screamed my secret. I saw him cheat on the math exam. The words exploded into the corridor, ricocheting through the hallway like a grenade. Silence followed, then whispers, then murmurs, turning into a roar. The entire school seemed to stop and stare, eyes filled with judgment, suspicion, disbelief. My reputation, built on years of hard work, crumbled in an instant. Teachers approached with stern faces, suspicion etched into their features. Friends who once cheered on my successes now looked away, their trust shattered. I felt my face flush with shame, my stomach knot tight with humiliation. I was no longer the diligent student. I was the fraud, the disgrace. That night, I fell into a pit of despair, drowning in anxiety and depression. I questioned myself. Was I truly a cheat? Did I deserve any shred of respect? The isolation was suffocating, a constant reminder of how quickly everything I'd worked for could be destroyed. The whispers never stopped. Everywhere I went, I could feel their eyes weighing me down, judging me. I withdrew from everyone, convinced I'd never recover. The shame was a heavy cloak I couldn't shake, and for months I carried it everywhere I went. But beneath that darkness, something began to stir, an ember of resolve. I realized I had two choices: succumb to the weight of the lies, or fight to reclaim my dignity. I chose the latter. I dedicated myself to proving who I truly was. I studied harder than ever, not just to re-earn my grades, but to rebuild my integrity. I volunteered, helped others, and took on leadership roles. Slowly, I started to piece myself together, finding strength in my resilience, not in my reputation. The pain lingered, yes, but it fueled my determination to become unstoppable. Years later, I stood once more in my hometown, no longer the broken child they cast aside. This time, I was a different person, stronger, wiser, unbreakable. I had built a life I was proud of, a college degree, a career that challenged me for who I truly was. And when I finally faced those who doubted me, I didn't seek revenge with words. I carried myself with quiet confidence. I looked them in the eye and knew they could see what I'd become, a testament to perseverance. The whispers still echoed, but they no longer held power over me. I was no longer the victim of betrayal. I was the master of my destiny. In that moment, I understood something profound. The greatest victory isn't the absence of pain, but transforming it into fuel for growth. I rose from the ashes of humiliation, not just to survive, but to thrive. Because the truth is, no matter how cruel the betrayal, no matter how deep the fall, there's always a way back. And when you do so stronger, and nothing can break you again.